The notion that what you pour into your wine glass could be sabotaging your ability to achieve firm, lasting erections after 60 might seem counterintuitive, even shocking. After all, conventional wisdom often paints alcohol as an enemy of sexual performance, a substance that dampens desire and undermines erectile function. And in many cases, this belief holds true. Excessive consumption, binge drinking, or the wrong types of alcohol can indeed wreak havoc on circulation, hormone balance, and nervous system function, leaving you frustrated and feeling defeated in the bedroom. Yet, here's the revelation that most men over 60 remain completely unaware of. Not all wines are created equal. Far from being a universal detriment, certain specific wines, consumed with precise intention and strict moderation, possess unique biochemical properties that can actually counteract the very mechanisms of age-related erectile decline. These aren't mere folk remedies or wishful thinking. I'm talking about 5 distinct, scientifically backed wines that, when integrated intelligently into your lifestyle, can act as potent allies. They work by enhancing blood flow to the penile tissues, protecting and subtly boosting your natural testosterone levels, reducing the chronic, silent inflammation that stiffens arteries and dampens response, and ultimately, helping you reclaim the natural, reliable, rock-hard erections you may have thought were a relic of your youth. This isn't about magic potions. It's about leveraging nature's pharmacy, compounds like resveratrol, flavonoids, anthocyanins, and oleuropein, found abundantly in specific grape varieties and fermentation processes, to gently nudge your physiology back towards optimal function. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Dr. Clara John, a board-certified urologist with over 30 years dedicated exclusively to the complex health challenges faced by men navigating their 6th decade and beyond. My clinical practice has been built on a foundation of helping men like you rediscover their vitality, rebuild their confidence, and restore their ability to engage in fulfilling intimacy, all without resorting to the potential side effects and dependencies of prescription pills, the awkwardness of mechanical pumps, or the inherent risks of surgical interventions. Throughout these 3 decades, I've witnessed firsthand the profound impact that seemingly small, natural interventions can have when applied correctly. What I'm about to share with you today represents a significant shift in perspective, one that challenges the blanket condemnation of alcohol and reveals how specific wines, understood and used strategically, can become a cornerstone of your natural sexual health regimen. This knowledge has the potential to fundamentally alter your relationship with wine for the rest of your life, transforming it from a potential liability into a calculated tool for rejuvenation. The common belief that alcohol kills erections stems from undeniable physiological truths. Alcohol is a central nervous system depressant. It can blunt arousal signals traveling from the brain. It dehydrates the body, thickening the blood and making it harder to pump efficiently. Crucially, excessive alcohol consumption places immense stress on the liver, the organ responsible for metabolizing hormones, including testosterone. When the liver is overwhelmed detoxifying alcohol, its ability to regulate hormone balance diminishes, leading to suppressed testosterone production. Furthermore, binge drinking can cause acute nerve dysfunction and damage the delicate endothelial lining of blood vessels, directly impairing the vasodilation necessary for a strong erection. However, this is only half the story, the part most men understand. The critical missing piece, the paradigm shift I want to impart, is that certain wines are exceptionally rich reservoirs of powerful bioactive compounds. These compounds, primarily polyphenol like resveratrol, abundant in red grape skins, flavonoids, found across many fruits, anthocyanins, giving blueberries their deep hue, and specific antioxidants unique to certain fermentation methods, possess potent vasodilatory, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and even mild hormone-modulating properties. When consumed in very specific, moderate amounts, these compounds can actually counteract some of alcohol's negative effects and actively support the biological systems underpinning sexual performance. It's a nuanced approach, using the therapeutic molecules within the wine while strictly minimizing the dose of the ethanol vehicle delivering them. This targeted strategy allows you to harness nature's chemistry to naturally restore what the relentless march of time, compounded by lifestyle factors and environmental stressors, has gradually eroded: robust erectile function. In the following discussion, I will meticulously unveil these 5 specific types of wine, each chosen for its unique mechanism of action and proven benefit for men over 60 grappling with erectile concerns. This isn't a casual list, it's a clinically informed protocol. For each wine, I will explain exactly how it works on a physiological level, detailing the pathways it influences, from nitric oxide synthesis to testosterone protection to capillary health. Crucially, I will provide precise, non-negotiable guidance on how often to drink it and the exact serving size that delivers benefits without crossing into detrimental territory. Moderation is not a suggestion here. It is the absolute linchpin of success. I will also detail how each wine, when incorporated correctly, contributes to waking up with renewed confidence, experiencing more spontaneous and reliable responsiveness, and feeling that vital spark of masculine energy returning. However, knowledge is power only when applied correctly, and to ensure this information serves you best, I must also issue a vital warning. Before we conclude, I will uncover one common type of wine, often perceived as harmless or even healthy, that you must absolutely avoid. This particular wine acts insidiously, exacerbating inflammation, spiking blood sugar, and directly contributing to the hormonal imbalances and vascular damage that silently kill erections from the inside out. Identifying and eliminating this culprit is as important as embracing the beneficial ones. This isn't about promoting alcohol consumption. It's about making profoundly intelligent, selective choices if you choose to include wine in your life, turning it from a foe into a targeted ally in your quest for sustained vitality. Before we delve into the science and specifics of these 5 performance-enhancing wines, I encourage you to take a small but significant step to ensure you don't miss future insights tailored specifically for men navigating the complexities of health after 60. Subscribing to this channel and tapping the bell icon means you'll receive immediate notification whenever new, evidence-based advice is released. Advice focused on optimizing your energy, confidence, and overall well-being without gimmicks or false promises. Your engagement is invaluable. If the message in this video resonates with you, if it sparks a sense of hope or recognition, please type the number 1 in the comments section below. If, however, this approach doesn't align with your perspective or needs, simply type 0. Your honest feedback is not just appreciated, it's essential. It guides the refinement of future content, ensuring it addresses your real concerns and delivers practical solutions you can trust. Knowing whether this information lands, whether it speaks to the challenges you're actually facing, allows me to tailor this resource more effectively to serve you better. Alright, with that said, let's transition from introduction to actionable substance, beginning with the very first wine on our curated list. This isn't merely a pleasant accompaniment to a meal. It's scientifically validated as one of nature's most effective tools for enhancing cardiovascular health, specifically by improving blood flow dynamics, inducing relaxation in arterial walls, and consequently, playing a pivotal role in facilitating firmer, more durable erections. For the man over 60 who notices a persistent sluggishness in his circulation, cold hands and feet, slower recovery from exertion, or that frustrating inability to achieve maximal firmness, integrating this particular wine correctly could mark the beginning of a significant positive shift. Let's explore Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir stands as the foundational heart saver and blood flow maestro in our quintet of beneficial wines. I recall vividly a patient, let's call him Robert, a vibrant man in his mid-60s who had built a successful career but found himself increasingly defeated in his personal life. During a consultation, he leaned forward, his voice steady but his eyes betraying a deep-seated shame, and confessed, "Dr. Clara, it's like I've become invisible in my own bedroom. The desire is there, but my body, it just won't respond like it used to." He detailed his journey, trials with various PDE5 inhibitors, the standard erectile dysfunction pills, an array of over-the-counter supplements promising miracles, even discreetly purchased devices advertised late at night, all yielding disappointing, fleeting results at best. Nothing delivered the consistent, reliable firmness he remembered. It was at this juncture, recognizing the hallmark signs of age-related vascular stiffness limiting blood inflow to the penis, that I introduced him to an unexpected, almost counterintuitive, ally, Pinot Noir. He blinked, understandably skeptical, You're telling me wine is going to help me get hard again? I met his gaze. Not just any wine, Robert. Pinot Noir. Specifically. It's not folklore or wishful thinking. It's grounded in robust biochemistry. His journey with Pinot Noir underscores a critical point often missed. The right intervention, however simple it may seem, can unlock significant physiological change. The profound efficacy of Pinot Noir for erectile support in aging men hinges primarily on its remarkable concentration of resveratrol. This potent polyphenol, concentrated in the skins of red grapes and found in exceptional abundance in Pinot Noir due to its varietal characteristics and typical vinification methods, exerts a unique and powerful influence on the aging vascular system. As men cross the threshold of 60 and beyond, the endothelial cells lining their blood vessels, particularly the smaller arteries supplying the cavernosal tissues of the penis, undergo cumulative damage. This damage stems from oxidative stress, an excess of damaging free radicals, chronic low-grade inflammation, and the simple wear and tear of decades. The result is stiffening, reduced elasticity, inflammation of the vessel walls, and narrowing of the lumen, the internal passageway for blood. This trifecta significantly impedes blood flow, reducing both the volume and pressure of blood that can rapidly engorge the penis upon arousal. It's this compromised circulation that often manifests as weak, slow-developing, or unsustainable erections. Resveratrol acts as a powerful countermeasure by directly stimulating the production and activity of nitric oxide, NO. Nitric oxide is the master signaling molecule for vasodilation. When released in the endothelial lining, it triggers the relaxation of the smooth muscle cells within the arterial walls. Think of it like opening floodgates. Resveratrol-enhanced NO production causes these vessels to widen significantly, reducing resistance and allowing oxygen-rich blood to surge more freely and with greater force into the corpora cavernosa. This enhanced inflow is the fundamental physical requirement for achieving and maintaining a rigid erection. When blood inflow is insufficient or sluggish due to constricted vessels, erections are weak, slow to develop, or fade prematurely during intimacy, not necessarily due to lack of libido, but fundamentally due to a hydraulic failure caused by poor circulation. Pinot Noir, rich in resveratrol, becomes a potent, natural vasodilator, acting like a silent partner facilitating the crucial opening of these vascular pathways, enabling the robust blood flow required for firmness, without resorting to pharmaceutical interventions. What truly distinguishes Pinot Noir from other red wines in this specific therapeutic context is its inherent physiological profile. Pinot Noir grapes are famously thin-skinned and notoriously difficult to cultivate, thriving best in cooler climates. These factors contribute significantly to its health profile. The thin skins mean a higher ratio of skin to juice during fermentation compared to thicker skin varieties, concentrating the polyphenol like resveratrol. Simultaneously, the cooler growing conditions and the grape's natural tendency result in lower sugar accumulation. This combination is crucial. You obtain a wine that delivers a high payload of beneficial vasoactive and antioxidant polyphenol without concurrently burdening your system with excessive sugar or alcohol. High sugar intake promotes inflammation and insulin resistance, both detrimental to vascular health and testosterone levels. Excessive alcohol, as previously discussed, suppresses testosterone and stresses the liver. Pinot Noir, typically lighter in body and alcohol content, often around 12 to 13.5% ABV, compared to, say, a robust Cabernet or Zinfandel, provides the vascular support without triggering the significant hormonal disruption that heavier, sweeter wines can cause. This hormonal stability is paramount for older men who are already contending with a natural, gradual decline in testosterone production, a decline that itself contributes to reduced erectile rigidity, diminished libido, and loss of muscle mass. Pinot Noir offers support where it's needed most, blood flow, without exacerbating another critical vulnerability, hormonal balance. Robert embraced this approach, integrating just one carefully measured glass of Pinot Noir, approximately 5 ounces, into his evening routine, consistently with dinner, 3 to 4 nights per week. Within a matter of weeks, the subtle yet powerful effects began to manifest. He reported the return of spontaneous morning erections, a classic indicator of improved nocturnal vascular health and hormonal balance. "It feels like my body is finally waking up again," he remarked during a follow-up, a note of genuine relief and optimism in his voice. This awakening, a gentle but consistent revival of circulatory efficiency, is precisely what Pinot Noir facilitates. It enables erections to develop more naturally, feel significantly fuller and harder, and crucially, sustain that firmness longer, restoring a fundamental aspect of masculine function and confidence. However, the transformative potential of Pinot Noir is entirely contingent upon unwavering adherence to the principle of strict moderation. We are unequivocally discussing one standard serving, 5 ounces, consumed no more than 3 to 4 evenings per week, ideally alongside a balanced meal. This is not a suggestion, it is the therapeutic window. Exceeding this quantity, either in volume per serving or frequency, fundamentally changes the equation. You cross a critical threshold where the negative physiological impacts of ethanol, liver stress, testosterone suppression, dehydration, and potential nerve toxicity rapidly overwhelm and negate the beneficial effects of the resveratrol and other polyphenol. The dose makes the medicine, and in this case, more is decidedly not better. It becomes actively harmful. This protocol isn't about increasing overall alcohol consumption. It represents a paradigm shift towards strategic, intelligent consumption. It's about selecting a specific tool, Pinot Noir, and deploying it with precision, strict moderation, to achieve a targeted biological outcome, improved vasodilation and blood flow. I anticipate the skepticism. "It can't possibly be that straightforward, Dr. Clara. Just a single glass of Pinot Noir a few nights a week." This doubt is understandable, particularly in a world saturated with complex medical solutions and exaggerated supplement claims. We are conditioned to expect dramatic interventions for significant problems. However, the profound truth often obscured by this noise is that the human body responds magnificently to consistent, gentle, biologically harmonious inputs. Simplicity, far from being simplistic, is frequently the hallmark of the most effective natural strategies. The body is a complex, self-regulating system that thrives on rhythm and nourishment, not abrupt shocks or chemical overrides. A small, deliberate action, like consuming a specific bioactive compound in a controlled manner, repeated consistently over time, can initiate powerful cascades of physiological repair and optimization. Pinot Noir, consumed within its defined therapeutic window, is precisely such an action. If you've been adhering to a strict abstinence from all alcohol based on the well-known risks of excessive drinking and erectile dysfunction, this information requires a crucial reframing. Not all alcoholic beverages exert identical effects, and crucially, not all consumption patterns are equally detrimental. While chronic heavy drinking or binge episodes are unequivocally destructive to sexual health, the targeted, highly controlled consumption of specific wines rich in therapeutic compounds can, paradoxically, become a supportive element within a holistic natural sexual health strategy. Over weeks and months, as improved circulation becomes the norm, as systemic inflammation gently recedes, and as vascular endothelial function is restored, the benefits compound. You may experience not only firmer erections but also heightened sensitivity, a quicker and more reliable response to sexual stimuli, and a welcome return of that spontaneous, effortless quality to intimacy, feelings many men resign themselves to having lost forever. This is the core objective, restoring not merely mechanical function, but the profound sense of freedom and confidence that comes with knowing your body responds reliably. It's about reclaiming your authentic self in the most intimate moments, engaging with your partner without the shadow of performance anxiety, and rediscovering the vitality and energy that are your birthright, regardless of age. If Pinot Noir serves as the essential foundation, the quiet architect rebuilding the critical infrastructure of blood flow, then the next wine on our list introduces a complementary but distinct strength. It acts as a vigilant guardian of the very hormone that fuels desire, drive, and the essence of masculine vitality. Its identity and mechanism might surprise you. Let's explore Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Sauvignon emerges as the stalwart testosterone defender within our selection of performance-enhancing wines. The case of Harold, a disciplined 68-year-old retired Navy officer, remains etched in my memory. He presented as sharp, physically fit, and mentally resilient, yet he described hitting an invisible but formidable wall in his intimate life. Sitting across from me, his posture ramrod straight but his eyes revealing a deep vulnerability, he posed a poignant question. "Dr. Clara, is my testosterone just gone? Vanished for good?" He spoke of his wife's enduring affection, but confessed his own internal fire had dwindled alarmingly. His energy reserves felt perpetually depleted. His libido, the intrinsic desire for intimacy, had faded to a whisper, and most distressingly, his erections had become frustratingly unreliable, often weak and insufficient. "I just don't feel like the man I was," he admitted, the frustration palpable. Harold's experience highlights a critical nexus in male sexual health over 60. The intricate link between declining testosterone and deteriorating erectile function, libido, and overall vitality. My response to Harold forms the core of what I emphasize now. For men navigating their 60s and beyond who contend with weakening erections, persistent low energy, or a dwindling sex drive, the issue is frequently not that testosterone has vanished entirely, but rather that its production and activity are under siege and desperately need shielding. This is precisely where Cabernet Sauvignon, that bold, structured red wine, steps in not just as a beverage, but as a biochemical shield. Cabernet Sauvignon's potency as a testosterone defender lies in its exceptional richness in specific flavonoids and polyphenol, notably quercetin. A wealth of scientific research, including robust in vitro and animal studies, and increasingly human observational data, points to quercetin's remarkable ability to combat oxidative stress, particularly within sensitive tissues like the testes. More specifically, it exerts a protective effect on the Leydig cells. These specialized cells, residing within the testicles, are the body's primary production factories for testosterone. As men age, Leydig cells become increasingly vulnerable to damage from relentless assaults, chronic inflammation, often systemic and low-grade, environmental toxins, metabolic byproducts, and the cumulative impact of poor microcirculation. This damage isn't always dramatic. It's often a slow, insidious degradation. Consequently, testosterone output gradually diminishes. This decline isn't merely about sexual function. It's intrinsically linked to erectile quality, libido, muscle mass, bone density, mood regulation, and overall energy levels. Weak, unreliable erections are frequently a direct symptom of this hormonal ebb. Cabernet Sauvignon, loaded with protective compounds like quercetin, functions analogously to a biological bodyguard for these vital Leydig cells. It actively reduces the inflammatory cytokines that attack and degrade cellular function. It enhances the local blood flow within the testes, ensuring these cells receive optimal oxygen and nutrients for their metabolic processes. Perhaps most crucially, its potent antioxidant properties neutralize the damaging free radicals that cause oxidative damage to cellular structures, including the mitochondria responsible for energy production within the Leydig cells. In essence, Cabernet Sauvignon helps preserve the functional integrity of the testosterone-producing machinery itself. It's not about artificially inflating testosterone levels beyond natural capacity, which carries risks. It's about safeguarding the existing production capability, preventing its premature decline, and allowing the body to maintain its natural hormonal equilibrium for as long as possible. This preservation is fundamental for sustaining the spark Harold described, that inner sense of drive, energy, and sexual confidence that underpins firm, self-assured erections. Harold integrated this knowledge into his life, adding half a glass of Cabernet Sauvignon, roughly 2.5 to 3 ounces, to his evening regimen, strictly 3 nights per week, always consumed alongside a nutritionally balanced dinner rich in leafy greens, lean protein, and healthy fats like olive oil. This dietary context is vital, as nutrients support the wine's action. Within approximately 6 weeks, the shift was undeniable. During a follow-up, Harold's demeanor had transformed. The frustration was replaced by a quiet intensity. He met my gaze directly and stated, simply but powerfully, "It's working." He elaborated, describing the return of that internal spark, a renewed vigor in his mornings, and most tellingly, a proactive return to initiating intimacy, actions he hadn't felt motivated to undertake in a long time. That spark is the tangible feeling of testosterone functioning effectively within his system. It's this hormonal foundation that imbues erections with their characteristic fullness and confident rigidity, not the fragile, effortful hardness sometimes induced by medication, but a natural, resilient firmness arising from restored internal balance. It's crucial to maintain absolute realism. Cabernet Sauvignon is not a replacement for medically necessary testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, in men diagnosed with clinically significant hypogonadism, severely low testosterone confirmed by blood tests. For men whose levels are pathologically low, professional medical intervention is essential. However, for the overwhelming majority of men I encounter in my practice over 60, the core issue isn't a complete absence of testosterone. Instead, it's that their modern lifestyle and physiological environment are actively degrading and suppressing the testosterone their bodies are still capable of producing. Processed foods laden with sugars and unhealthy fats, chronic sleep deprivation, the side effects of certain medications, statins, opioids, some blood pressure drugs, excessive alcohol consumption beyond our defined moderation, and unrelenting psychological stress. These factors create a biochemical milieu that actively damages Leydig cells and suppresses the hypothalamic pituitary testicular axis that regulates testosterone production. Cabernet Sauvignon, used strategically within our strict moderation guidelines and synergistically with healthy lifestyle choices, becomes far more than a pleasant drink. It transforms into a sophisticated element of a comprehensive defense strategy, shielding your hormonal vitality from the constant erosive forces of modern aging. Moderation, as with Pinot Noir, is the non-negotiable cornerstone of harnessing Cabernet Sauvignon's protective benefits. One modest glass, strictly limited to 2 or 3 evenings per week, represents the effective therapeutic dose. Exceeding this frequency or volume fundamentally backfires. Higher alcohol intake directly suppresses the hypothalamus and pituitary gland, reducing the signaling, GnRH, LH, that tells the testes to produce testosterone. It increases the conversion of testosterone to estrogen in peripheral tissues. It elevates cortisol, the stress hormone which antagonizes testosterone, and it places additional metabolic strain on the liver, impairing its role in hormone regulation. Drinking too much Cabernet, despite its beneficial compounds, will actively suppress the very hormone you are striving to protect. An additional, highly effective tip involves strategic pairing. Consume your measured portion of Cabernet Sauvignon alongside foods naturally rich in zinc. Zinc is an essential mineral directly involved in numerous steps of testosterone synthesis and metabolism within the Leydig cells. Excellent dietary sources include oysters, exceptionally high, beef, pumpkin seeds, spinach, lentils, and nuts like cashews. When the potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties of Cabernet Sauvignon's polyphenol, like quercetin, are combined with adequate zinc intake, a powerful synergy emerges. This combination provides a dual assault on the factors degrading testosterone production, reducing oxidative/inflammatory damage, and supplying a crucial cofactor for the synthesis process itself. This synergy robustly supports both hormone health and, consequently, erectile function. I understand intimately the emotional landscape many of you navigate, the pervasive sense that your prime years are irrevocably past, that the effortless intimacy and potent vitality of youth have silently slipped away. This feeling can be profoundly disheartening. But I stand before you with decades of clinical evidence affirming this truth. It is not too late. The body possesses a remarkable capacity for renewal when provided with the right conditions. Cabernet Sauvignon, while certainly not a mystical elixir, represents a potent, natural tool within this renewal process. It can help restore that vital edge, contributing to stronger, more sustainable erections, fostering a more spontaneous and natural experience of arousal, and deepening the meaningful connection that intimacy represents. Now, if Pinot Noir excels at restoring foundational macro blood flow and Cabernet Sauvignon specializes in defending the hormonal engine, the next wine on our list adopts a radically different tactical approach. It operates at the most minute level, deep within the intricate network of capillaries perfusing the pelvic region, specifically targeting the quality and responsiveness of the endothelial lining to dramatically improve how swiftly and powerfully you respond to sexual stimulation. This is a wine largely unfamiliar to most men, yet it could very well supply the crucial missing element in your journey back to reliably firm performance. Let's uncover blueberry wine. Blueberry wine emerges as the specialized potent secret weapon for microcirculation, a factor often overlooked yet critically important for robust erectile function, especially in men with underlying vascular concerns. It's true that most men over 60 have likely never encountered blueberry wine, let alone considered its potential health benefits. It rarely graces standard restaurant wine lists and isn't typically shelved alongside familiar Cabernets or Merlots in local liquor stores. However, dismissing it based on obscurity would be a significant mistake. For the man grappling with persistent erectile difficulties rooted in compromised microvascular health, often associated with aging, hypertension, diabetes, or metabolic syndrome, this unique wine harbors one of the most potent keys to unlocking stronger, fuller, more sustainable erections. My introduction to its clinical potential came through a patient named Tom. At 72, Tom was managing type 2 diabetes and had endured nearly a decade of progressively weakening erections. Standard PDE5 inhibitors, like Viagra or Cialis, once partially effective, had lost their potency. The cumulative vascular damage from years of fluctuating blood sugar had taken its toll, and Tom was confronting the bleak prospect that his sexual life had reached its conclusion. When I suggested exploring blueberry wine, his reaction was one of genuine disbelief. "You mean wine made from actual blueberries, not grapes?" My affirmative answer opened the door to explaining the remarkable science behind this humble fruit. Blueberries are nutritional powerhouses, exceptionally dense in a specific class of flavonoids called anthocyanins. These are the pigments responsible for the fruit's deep blue-purple color, but their significance extends far beyond aesthetics. Anthocyanins possess extraordinary bioactivity. When absorbed into the bloodstream, they don't circulate passively. They actively migrate to and exert potent effects on the microvasculature, the vast network of tiny capillaries, arterioles, and venules that constitute the body's most intricate and pervasive circulatory level. This is particularly crucial for erectile function, as the penile tissues rely heavily on dense capillary networks for engorgement. The magic of blueberry wine lies in its concentrated delivery of these anthocyanins in a bioavailable form, enhanced by the fermentation process. Their primary action centers on dramatically improving endothelial function. The endothelium is the single-cell thick lining of all blood vessels, acting as the critical interface between the bloodstream and the vascular smooth muscle. It's responsible for producing nitric oxide, NO, the master vasodilator, in response to various stimuli, including sexual arousal. When the endothelium becomes dysfunctional, a common consequence of aging, oxidative stress, inflammation, high blood pressure, and especially diabetes, its ability to produce NO is impaired. Vessels fail to dilate adequately, blood flow is restricted, and erections become weak, slow to develop, or impossible to sustain despite intact neural signals and desire. This is often the core issue for men like Tom, where the problem isn't primarily hormonal or neurological, but fundamentally hydraulic at the micro level. Anthocyanins in blueberry wine combat endothelial dysfunction through multiple mechanisms. They are potent antioxidants, neutralizing the free radicals that damage endothelial cells. They reduce inflammation within the vessel walls, and crucially, they directly enhance the activity of the enzyme, enos, responsible for synthesizing nitric oxide. The result is improved microcirculation, particularly vital in the pelvic region. Enhanced blood flow at this capillary level ensures that the cavernosal tissues receive a rapid, powerful, and sustained influx of blood upon arousal, leading to firmer erections that develop more quickly and last longer. Blueberry wine doesn't promise an instant cure or a reversal of decades of vascular disease. However, for men whose primary erectile challenge stems from compromised microvascular health, often indicated by cold extremities, slow wound healing, or conditions like diabetes or peripheral artery disease, It can represent a pivotal turning point, offering a natural pathway to significant improvement where other options may have faltered. Tom committed to the protocol, a small half glass of dry blueberry wine, ensuring minimal sugar, consumed 3 evenings per week alongside his dinner. Within approximately 4 weeks, the change manifested not through grand pronouncements, but through quiet, profound relief. During his follow-up visit, he offered a simple, powerful statement. "Things are better, document. I didn't think I'd get that back." Behind those few words lay a world of restored dignity, self-respect, and confidence. It represented the return of a fundamental sense that his body could still cooperate, could still experience and express pleasure and connection. This restoration of agency is often the most deeply felt benefit. For men over 60 contending with poor circulation, persistent erectile difficulties characterized by slow onset or weak rigidity, or simply frustrating inconsistency in performance, blueberry wine could be the precisely targeted intervention their physiology requires. A mere half glass, consumed a few times weekly, provides sufficient bioactive anthocyanins to exert a measurable supportive effect on vascular endothelial function and microcirculatory health. For those managing blood sugar concerns like Tom, selecting a genuinely dry blueberry wine, fermented to complete dryness with no residual sugar added, is paramount to avoid glycemic spikes. While it might require a visit to a specialty wine shop or an online order, the effort is justified. This isn't merely about acquiring a novel beverage, it's about procuring a potent, natural tool capable of reactivating a vital aspect of physical responsiveness and intimacy. To maximize its efficacy, consider pairing blueberry wine with foods naturally high in dietary nitrates. Excellent sources include beetroot, exceptionally potent, leafy green vegetables, spinach, arugula, kale, celery, and even dark chocolate. Dietary nitrates are converted in the body, via the nitrate-nitrite NO pathway, into nitric oxide, complementing and amplifying the NO-boosting effects of the anthocyanins. This synergistic combination significantly enhances the signaling for vasodilation, providing the hydraulic pressure necessary for achieving stronger, fuller erections precisely when arousal demands it. Never underestimate the paramount importance of circulation, especially at the microvascular level. Without efficient, responsive blood flow, sexual desire remains neurologically present but physically unexpressed. When circulation is optimized, however, a cascade of positive effects follows. Heightened sensation, more reliable arousal, renewed confidence, and deeper pleasure. Blueberry wine transcends being merely a secret. It functions as a sophisticated, gentle yet powerful agent in countering the microvascular decline associated with aging, offering tangible hope for restored function when utilized with discipline and understanding. Now, if blueberry wage operates at the finest scale, optimizing capillaries and endothelial responsiveness, the next wine confronts a far more pervasive and insidious adversary affecting virtually every older man I consult: chronic, systemic, low-grade inflammation. This silent, smoldering fire within the body is a major, often unrecognized, assassin of effortless intimacy. The wine we turn to next possesses the remarkable capacity to dampen this inflammation, restoring the calm, clear physiological environment essential for reliable performance. Let's examine rose. Rose wine, frequently underestimated or even dismissed by many men over 60 as overly light, sweet, or lacking masculine gravitas, reveals itself as a potent anti-inflammatory ally when understood and utilized correctly. Its potential was crystallized for me through the experience of Frank, a 71-year-old retired construction foreman. Frank embodied a no-nonsense attitude, with a firm handshake and direct speech. He sought help for what he described with characteristic bluntness as incomplete performance. "Doc, I can start the engine, but I can't keep it running. It's frustrating as hell, and frankly, it's embarrassing." Comprehensive blood work painted a telling picture: borderline elevated blood sugar, indicating metabolic stress, mild prostatic inflammation, common but impactful, and notably, elevated C-reactive protein, CRP, levels. Elevated CRP is a key biomarker signaling systemic inflammation, a low-grade, body-wide fire often smoldering beneath the surface without overt symptoms. Frank's symptoms pointed directly to this inflammation as a primary culprit. While inflammation is often discussed broadly, for men like Frank, it represents a relentless, stealthy enemy of sexual vitality. Systemic inflammation acts through multiple damaging pathways. It constricts blood vessels by impairing endothelial function and promoting vasoconstriction. It disrupts the delicate hormonal signaling necessary for arousal and erection. It contributes to nerve dysfunction. And over time, it actively damages the tissues and biochemical pathways essential for achieving and sustaining firm erections. It creates a physiological environment where achieving and maintaining rigidity becomes an uphill battle. My recommendation to Frank was unexpected. Incorporate a glass of dry rose wine, 3 to 4 evenings per week, consumed alongside a clean, anti-inflammatory meal rich in leafy greens, lean protein, like fish or chicken, and healthy fats, olive oil, avocado. His skeptical response, "Rose? Really?" was entirely predictable, yet it underscored the widespread misconceptions surrounding this wine. "Yes, Frank, really. Dry rose, specifically." Frank's skepticism stemmed from unfamiliarity with the potent biochemistry within certain roses, particularly those crafted from red grape varieties like Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre, or Cinsault using the saignée or limited skin contact method. These methods allow for the extraction of significant polyphenol from the grape skins while minimizing the tannin content typically associated with heavy reds. Rose, especially dry styles, is rich in specific polyphenol, including tyrosol, hydroxytyrosol, and various flavonoids, renowned for their potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. These compounds work systemically to reduce the production and activity of pro-inflammatory cytokines, signaling molecules like TNF-alpha, IL-6, while boosting the body's own antioxidant defenses. By calming this internal inflammatory fire, rose helps restore vascular health. Arteries regain elasticity and their capacity to dilate effectively. Endothelial function improves, enhancing nitric oxide production. Blood flows more freely and efficiently throughout the body, including critically to the pelvic region. Furthermore, rose typically possesses a lower alcohol content, often 12 to 13% ABV, compared to many robust reds. This lower alcohol load is advantageous because it provides the anti-inflammatory polyphenol benefits while minimizing the testosterone-suppressing and liver-stressing effects associated with higher alcohol concentrations. It supports vascular health without concurrently undermining hormonal balance, a crucial advantage for older men. After roughly a month of consistent moderate consumption, Frank reported back, sharing an insight I consider profoundly illustrative. "I didn't think it was doing much at first, but then I realized I wasn't waking up feeling as stiff and achy. And then, one night, things just worked. No stress, no forcing it. It just happened." He paused, a genuine smile breaking through. "That hasn't happened in years." Frank's experience captures the essence of how reducing systemic inflammation facilitates sexual function. When inflammation recedes, physiological systems operate with less friction and greater harmony. Arteries dilate more readily, the heart pumps blood more efficiently, neural signaling flows unimpeded, and the microvessels within the penis become exquisitely responsive. Erections, once requiring immense effort and often resulting in disappointment, begin to occur more spontaneously, more reliably, and with less conscious struggle. Rose doesn't force an erection pharmacologically. Instead, it creates the optimal internal physiological environment where natural erectile responses can flourish effortlessly once more. As always, and it cannot be overstated, moderation is paramount. 1 standard glass, 5 ounces, is the effective dose. Exceeding this negates the benefits and introduces alcohol-related detriments. The purpose here transcends simple pleasure, though enjoying the wine is certainly permissible. It's about intentional, strategic consumption. You are utilizing the bioactive compounds within the wine as nature-derived support for your body's innate healing and balancing processes, not as an intoxicant. If you experience persistent joint discomfort, unexplained low-grade fatigue, slow recovery from minor ailments, or frustrating inconsistency in achieving or maintaining erections, Chronic systemic inflammation is likely a significant contributing factor. Rose wine, often overlooked due to misconceptions about its color or perceived sweetness, especially when dry styles are chosen, could provide precisely the calming, rebalancing influence your system requires to function optimally again. To amplify its anti-inflammatory effects, consciously pair your rose with foods known for their inflammation-fighting properties. Excellent choices include fatty fish rich in omega-3s, salmon, mackerel, sardines, extra virgin olive oil, packed with oleocanthal, a natural anti-inflammatory, dark leafy greens, kale, spinach, nuts, walnuts, almonds, and berries. This combination creates a powerful dietary synergy against inflammation. Furthermore, incorporating light physical activity, such as a 15 to 20-minute gentle walk after your evening meal, including the wine, enhances circulation, aids blood sugar regulation, and supports the overall anti-inflammatory and vascular improvements you are cultivating. It exemplifies the principle of cumulative small habits converging to create substantial, tangible change. Frank's outcome transcended mere physical improvement. It revitalized his relationship and restored his fundamental confidence. His summary was poignant. I stopped worrying if I could perform. I just started living again. This shift from anxiety to presence represents the ultimate goal. Now, if Rose operates as the subtle harmonizer, working systemically to remove obstacles like inflammation, the final wine in our repertoire adopts a more direct, aggressive stance. It is inherently bold and strategically infused with one of nature's most potent compounds for direct cardiovascular and erectile enhancement. This unique wine not only promotes blood flow but actively fortifies the structural and functional basis of erections in real time. Its obscurity to most men is unfortunate, for once understood, its inclusion becomes almost self-evident. Let's explore red wine infused with olive leaf extract. Red wine infused with olive leaf extract stands as the sophisticated, synergistic erectile elixir, combining two powerful natural forces for maximum impact. My clinical journey with this approach involved Walter, a determined 66-year-old who embodied the frustration many men feel. He had diligently implemented lifestyle changes, overhauled his diet towards whole foods, incorporated regular moderate exercise, and faithfully tried standard erectile dysfunction medications. Yet, his results remained frustratingly inconsistent. I can get there sometimes, Dr. Clara, he explained, weariness in his voice, but it never lasts. I feel like I'm constantly battling my own body. This pervasive sense of struggle, of unreliable physiological response despite concerted effort, is a recurring theme. For Walter, and many like him, the core issue often intertwines vascular stiffness, suboptimal blood pressure control, and the body's impaired ability to generate sufficient nitric oxide on demand, the crucial signal for vasodilation. Introducing the concept of infusing his regular red wine with high-quality olive leaf extract initially elicited a surprised chuckle. Olive leaves? In wine. However, once the compelling science was explained, his skepticism transformed into focused curiosity. The efficacy of this combination hinges on the potent bioactive compound found abundantly in olive leaves, oleuropein. Extensive research, including human clinical trials, has demonstrated oleuropein's remarkable abilities. It significantly helps lower elevated blood pressure by promoting arterial relaxation. It enhances the flexibility and elasticity of blood vessels, reducing arterial stiffness. And, most critically for erectile function, it potently boosts the production and bioavailability of nitric oxide, NO. As established, nitric oxide is the indispensable biochemical trigger for penile erection. It's the signal that causes the smooth muscle within the penile arteries and the cavernosal tissues to relax, allowing blood to engorge the corpora cavernosa rapidly and under pressure. Without sufficient, readily available NO, the erectile response is sluggish, weak, or fails entirely. The true power of infusing red wine with olive leaf extract lies in this powerful synergy. You are simultaneously delivering the established vascular benefits of red wine polyphenol, resveratrol, quercetin, etc., which improve endothelial function, reduce oxidation, and offer mild anti-inflammatory effects, with the targeted, potent NO-boosting, blood pressure-lowering, and artery-relaxing effects of oleuropein. It's akin to administering a dual-pronged natural therapy, each component amplifying the other's beneficial actions on the cardiovascular system, specifically benefiting the hemodynamics of erection. For men navigating challenges like borderline or controlled hypertension, age-related arterial stiffening, or mild to moderate erectile dysfunction characterized by slow onset or poor sustainability, maintenance, this synergistic combination can be genuinely transformative. Walter adopted the protocol, a small glass, 5 ounces, of a dry red wine base. He chose Cabernet Sauvignon, infused with a carefully measured dose of high-quality olive leaf extract liquid or powder, consumed 3 times per week, always with food, never exceeding the single serving. Within approximately 1 month, the shift was palpable, extending beyond the purely physical. He reported, "It's not just that I can get hard now. It's that I'm not worried about it anymore. My body, it feels like it's finally back on my side." This restoration of trust in one's own physiology is invaluable, a cornerstone of sexual confidence that every man deserves to experience. This infused wine is particularly beneficial for men whose primary frustration involves erections that fade rapidly during intimacy or an inability to sustain firmness long enough for satisfying sexual activity. Oleuropein's potent effects on nitric oxide production and its ability to lower blood pressure work synergistically not only to initiate the erection more effectively but crucially, to maintain it. By promoting sustained arterial openness and optimal blood flow, ensuring the pelvic muscles and penile tissues receive continuous oxygen and nutrient supply, it supports the muscular and vascular mechanisms that keep an erection firm. You gain a greater sense of control and endurance. Sourcing this specific wine might require some initiative. Specialty wine producers occasionally offer red wines pre-infused with olive leaf extract or other beneficial botanicals. Alternatively, and often more reliably, you can create the infusion yourself by adding a clinically validated dose of a high-quality, standardized olive leaf extract, available as liquid tinctures or powders, directly to your measured glass of dry red wine. The latter method allows for precise control. I strongly recommend selecting a dry red wine as the base. Varieties like Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah, Petite Syrah, or Malbec are ideal due to their typically high polyphenol content and lower residual sugar. The goal is maximum beneficial compounds, antioxidants, polyphenol from the wine plus oleuropein from the olive leaf, with minimal sugar and a controlled, moderate alcohol content. As with every wine discussed, the principle of strict moderation is sacrosanct. 1 small glass, consumed only a few times weekly, represents the effective dose. Consuming more undermines the benefits through alcohol's negative effects. What resonates most profoundly about this approach is its embodiment of intelligent, empowered self-care. It represents moving beyond passive acceptance or reliance solely on pharmaceuticals, towards actively utilizing sophisticated natural tools. It's the quiet revolution of the older man making discerning, informed choices and witnessing his body respond with a resurgence of the strength and vitality he feared was lost forever. If doubts linger, can wine truly make such a significant difference? The resounding answer, based on clinical observation and biochemical understanding, is yes, provided it is the right wine, used in the right way, as part of a supportive lifestyle. However, the wine itself, even infused, is merely one component within a larger, integrated system. How you consume it, what you eat alongside it, your hydration status, your activity patterns, and your sleep quality. These contextual factors profoundly influence whether that single glass becomes a catalyst for transformation or merely an isolated act. Having identified which wines to strategically incorporate, it's imperative to understand how to maximize their physiological impact. Simple, often overlooked habits surrounding that glass of wine can dramatically amplify its benefits, turning a modest intervention into a comprehensive strategy for renewed erectile vitality. Many men unknowingly neglect these powerful amplifiers, diminishing their potential results. Let's delve into these essential bonus tips. Integrating the right wine strategically can undoubtedly initiate positive physiological shifts. However, achieving tangible, sustained improvements in erectile quality and reliability, the kind that manifests confidently in the bedroom, requires actively supporting that intervention with complementary lifestyle habits. My clinical experience over decades reveals a consistent pattern. Two men can diligently follow the same wine protocol, e.g., 1 glass of Pinot Noir 3 times per week, yet one experiences dramatic improvement in erection firmness, frequency, and sustainability, while the other notices minimal change. The critical difference invariably lies in what they do around that glass of wine. These surrounding habits are not minor details. They are powerful cofactors that unlock and potentiate the benefits. They transform the wine from a passive input into an active component of a holistic revitalization strategy. Allow me to share the most impactful adjustments, distilled from countless patient successes and rooted in physiological understanding. Implementing these can dramatically enhance your results. First, and absolutely fundamental, never consume wine on an empty stomach. The metabolic interaction between alcohol, polyphenol, and your body changes significantly when wine enters a digestive system actively processing food. Consuming your measured glass alongside, or immediately following, a balanced meal rich in healthy fats, extra virgin olive oil, avocado, nuts, seeds, fatty fish, provides crucial benefits. These fats slow gastric emptying, leading to a more gradual absorption of alcohol into the bloodstream, preventing sharp spikes in blood alcohol concentration. This smoother absorption curve minimizes the acute stress response and potential hormonal disruption caused by rapid alcohol influx. More importantly, healthy fats aid in the absorption of fat-soluble polyphenol, like resveratrol, present in the wine. Furthermore, pairing wine with food, especially complex meals containing protein, fiber, and fat, helps stabilize blood sugar levels, preventing the insulin spikes that promote inflammation and vascular damage. When strategically paired with the right nutrients, that glass of wine ceases to be merely a beverage. It evolves into a functional tool actively nourishing and supporting your vascular and endocrine systems, directly benefiting erectile function. Second, incorporate gentle movement after consumption. A simple 15 to 20-minute walk following your evening meal, particularly after you've consumed your wine, exerts a profoundly positive effect on circulation and metabolic processing. This light activity stimulates muscle contractions, which act like a secondary pump enhancing venous return and overall blood flow. This improved circulation helps distribute the wine's bioactive compounds, polyphenol, antioxidants, more effectively to target tissues, including the pelvic region. It also aids in the efficient metabolism and clearance of the alcohol component. Crucially, physical activity, even mild walking, boosts nitric oxide, NO, production independently. This endogenous NO surge synergizes powerfully with the NO-boosting effects of wines like Pinot Noir or olive leaf-infused reds, creating a compounded vasodilatory effect that significantly enhances blood flow capacity. One patient, James, exemplified this, started those slow walks after dinner and my wine, just like you said. Now, I wake up with a firmness I honestly hadn't felt in a decade or more. This outcome isn't serendipitous. It's the predictable result of combining a vasoactive intervention, the wine, with a vasoactive activity, walking, leveraging biology optimally. Third, prioritize aggressive hydration. Alcohol is a potent diuretic, actively promoting fluid loss through increased urine production. Chronic, even low-grade, dehydration has cascading negative effects relevant to erectile health. Dehydration thickens the blood, increases viscosity, making it harder for the heart to pump efficiently and reducing flow velocity, particularly through smaller vessels like those in the penis. Thickened blood flows less readily, impairing the rapid engorgement necessary for a firm erection. Dehydration also stresses the kidneys and can subtly impair nutrient and oxygen delivery to all tissues. To directly counter this, adopt this simple rule. For every standard glass of wine you consume, follow it with at least one full 8-ounce glass of pure water. This habit helps maintain blood volume and viscosity within an optimal range, supports liver function in processing toxins, including alcohol metabolites, aids in maintaining hormone balance, including testosterone, and ensures that the vascular benefits conferred by the wine's polyphenol aren't undermined by a dehydrated, sluggish circulatory system. Proper hydration ensures the wine works for your erections, not against them. Fourth, relentlessly protect and prioritize high-quality sleep. The profound link between sleep and testosterone production is unequivocal and critically important. The majority of testosterone synthesis in men occurs during deep, slow-wave sleep, stages 3 and 4 NREM sleep. Disrupted, shallow, or insufficient sleep, consistently less than 6 to 7 hours per night for most adults, directly and significantly reduces testosterone output. Low testosterone is a primary driver of weakened erections, reduced libido, and diminished sexual confidence. Therefore, if you choose to enjoy wine in the evening, strict adherence to moderation and timing is paramount. Limit consumption to 1 glass, and crucially, avoid drinking it within 2 to 3 hours of your intended bedtime. Alcohol, while initially sedating, disrupts sleep architecture later in the night. It suppresses REM sleep and can fragment sleep, leading to more frequent awakenings and reduced time spent in the crucial deep, restorative stages where testosterone production peaks. Consuming wine too close to bedtime increases the likelihood of this disruption. Protecting deep sleep allows your hormonal system to reset and regenerate optimally, creating the endocrine foundation necessary for the vascular improvements facilitated by the wine to translate into tangible erectile strength. Fifth, strategically combine wine with nitrate-rich foods. As mentioned with blueberry wine, incorporating foods naturally high in dietary nitrates can dramatically amplify the vasodilatory effects of the wines discussed. Dietary nitrates, found abundantly in beetroot, spinach, arugula, celery, and even dark cocoa, are converted by oral bacteria into nitrites. These nitrites are further reduced in the stomach and tissues to nitric oxide, NO, the key vasodilator. Consuming these nitrate-rich foods alongside, or as part of the meal accompanying your wine creates a powerful synergy. The polyphenol in the wine, especially in reds like Pinot Noir or Cabernet, enhance endothelial function and NO production pathways, while the dietary nitrates provide an additional, direct substrate for NO generation via an alternative pathway. This dual-pronged approach significantly boosts overall NO bioavailability, leading to stronger, faster developing, and more sustainable erections. I've witnessed men in their late 60s and 70s implement this single change, adding a small beet salad or a large serving of sautéed spinach to their dinner a few nights per week alongside their wine, and report substantial improvements in erection quality and reliability, often without altering anything else in their routine. Finally, and perhaps most challengingly for many, embrace unwavering consistency. This is the element most frequently abandoned. Men often try a new approach, a specific wine, a dietary tweak, for a week or two, perceive no dramatic overnight transformation, and conclude it's ineffective. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of physiology. The human body is not an on-off switch. It is a complex, adaptive system that responds to persistent, rhythmic inputs. Age-related vascular stiffness, endothelial dysfunction, hormonal imbalances, and systemic inflammation develop over years or decades. Reversing or significantly mitigating these processes requires consistent, patient application of supportive strategies. Commit to the specific wine protocols, type, dose, frequency, and diligently apply the supporting habits, food pairing, hydration, post-meal movement, sleep hygiene, nitrate inclusion, for a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks before expecting noticeable changes. Allow your biochemistry the time it needs to adapt, repair, and optimize. This disciplined consistency builds momentum, and momentum, particularly for men navigating the second half of life, is the essential force driving sustainable improvement. I understand the years of frustration, the resignation that perhaps your best sexual years are behind you. But I stand as a witness to the profound changes possible. I'm not solely referring to improved erections, though that is a vital outcome. I'm speaking of a resurgence in overall energy, a brighter, more stable mood, a deep-seated confidence that permeates all aspects of life, and the empowering sense of having your physical vitality back under your command. One of the most profound gifts you can bestow upon yourself at this stage is the unwavering belief that meaningful improvement remains within your grasp, because the clinical evidence and biochemical pathways affirm that it absolutely is. Wine, utilized with this level of discernment, discipline, and integration, transcends mere pleasure. It becomes a sophisticated form of pleasurable medicine. When applied correctly, it doesn't merely restore mechanical function. It has the power to reignite passion, deepen connection, and revitalize your experience of life itself. Now, equipped with knowledge of the 5 strategic wines and the essential habits to maximize their impact, we arrive at the core motivation, the profound why underpinning this entire endeavor. Beyond the biochemistry, beyond the erections, lies a deeper, more essential human aspiration. Let's conclude by illuminating this fundamental truth. Reaching this point signifies a meaningful commitment, not merely to viewing a video, but to actively investing in the quality of your health, the resilience of your confidence, and the richness of your future experiences. For that commitment, I extend my sincere gratitude. As a physician who has dedicated over 3 decades to guiding men through their 60s, 70s, and beyond, I possess a deep understanding of the powerful gravitational pull towards resignation. It's tragically easy to succumb to the narrative of inevitable decline, to accept diminishing vitality and receding intimacy as the unavoidable tax of longevity, to relegate passion, strength, and profound physical pleasure to the realm of distant memory. Yet, standing on the evidence gathered from countless patient journeys and the immutable principles of human physiology, I stand before you with an unwavering counter-narrative. This decline is not preordained. Intimacy, strength, and deep-seated pleasure remain vibrantly within your reach, provided you are willing to adopt a different perspective, to challenge assumptions, and to consistently provide your body with the precise biochemical support it craves to function optimally. We have meticulously explored 5 distinct wines today, not chosen for fleeting taste trends, but selected as deliberate, natural instruments for physiological transformation. Pinot Noir serves as the foundational vascular architect, diligently restoring the vital blood flow necessary to animate desire into tangible reality. Cabernet Sauvignon stands as the vigilant hormonal sentinel, guarding the precious testosterone that fuels drive, energy, and the very essence of masculine vitality. Blueberry wine operates as the microcirculation specialist, revitalizing the intricate capillary networks and endothelial responsiveness deep within the pelvic region, ensuring rapid and powerful hydraulic response. Rosé functions as the systemic harmonizer, dousing the smoldering fires of chronic inflammation that stiffen arteries, disrupt signals, and impede effortless function. Finally, red wine infused with olive leaf extract emerges as the synergistic elixir, combining vascular nourishment with potent nitric oxide amplification and arterial relaxation for robust, sustainable erections. This knowledge, however potent, finds its full expression only when coupled with the essential behavioral amplifiers. We detailed the critical importance of strategic pairing with nutrient-dense, often nitrate-rich meals, the circulation-boosting power of gentle post-consumption movement, the non-negotiable necessity of aggressive hydration to counteract alcohol's dehydrating effects, the foundational role of protected, high-quality sleep for hormonal regeneration, and, above all, the indispensable power of unwavering consistency. These are not burdensome demands. They are small, manageable adjustments. Yet, when woven together consistently, they create a powerful, self-reinforcing momentum. And momentum, especially as we navigate the complexities and opportunities of mature adulthood, is the essential catalyst for reclaiming and sustaining vitality. Allow me to leave you with this essential truth, the core why that transcends the mechanics of erections. Erections, in their profound simplicity, are far more than a biological function related to sex. They are a vital sign, a tangible indicator of overall vitality. They represent the seamless integration of robust circulation, resilient vascular health, balanced hormones, a calm nervous system, and confident psychological well-being. They signify that life force, your essential energy, is flowing freely and powerfully within you. They are intrinsically linked to your sense of confidence, your reservoir of energy, your capacity for deep connection, and your fundamental experience of being vibrantly alive in your body. That vital spark you recall from earlier years, that sense of effortless potency and responsive vitality, it is not extinguished. It may be banked, obscured by layers of accumulated stress, suboptimal lifestyle choices, and the subtle erosions of time, but it remains inherently present. It awaits only the deliberate creation of the right internal environment, through intelligent nutrition, targeted natural supports like these wines, restorative movement, deep sleep, and managed stress, to rekindle and burn brightly once more. Therefore, consider this an invitation to action, grounded not in desperation, but in empowered self-care. Tonight, perhaps, you might pour a modest measure of one of these wines, perhaps the foundational Pinot Noir or the protective Cabernet. Sit down with your partner, if you have one, sharing not just the drink but the intention behind it. Consume it alongside a nourishing meal, rich in colors and vitality. Afterwards, take that gentle walk, feeling the blood move and the evening air clear your mind. In these quiet acts, you make a profound choice, not to wage war against your aging body, but to enter into a conscious partnership with it. You choose to provide it with the specific elements it needs to repair, rebalance, and express its inherent strength. Commit to this process consistently. Trust in the body's remarkable ability to respond when supported wisely. Over time, you may well discover, with a sense of quiet wonder and renewed confidence, just how much resilient vitality and potent capacity remain within you, waiting to be reawakened. The path to reclaiming reliably firm erections, profound energy, and unshakable confidence after 60 can indeed begin with what you consciously choose to pour into your glass. But it flourishes through the consistent, intelligent choices you make in every aspect of your life. Your most vibrant, empowered, and connected years need not lie behind you. They can begin anew, starting now.